Hey guys, Ethan Sigmund here. I'm going to show you how to install the checkbox trigger onto a Leadpages page here in this quick video. Alright, first thing first, you have to create your checkbox, make sure you save your trigger. Then once you're on this embed code page, what you need to do is you need to authorize the domain that your Leadpages page will be on. So if you're publishing this to a custom domain, make sure that you add in that custom domain here. If you're going to just use your default Leadpages kind of URL that they provide with you, you will need to look up what that is and add it here. So I've added some custom domains that we use here, so that's there. But for this example, I'm going to show you how to find your regular kind of Leadpages URL that you may be assigned and add that in. So we're going to go to our Leadpages account. The fastest way is to find kind of the page that you're going to try and add that checkbox to. Go ahead and hit view page here, and then we'll be able to see our custom domain right here. All right, so we need everything after the HTTPS : / and then before the final slash for the page directory. So you go ahead and copy that, and then you're going to go back into Opesta and you're going to go ahead and paste that in and then press enter. It's going to add that into one of your authorized websites for you. The next step here is we're going to go ahead and copy this Opesta pixel and make sure we start to get it onto our page. So we can close out of that. And then we're going to go in and we need to actually edit the page that we're going to be adding this to. All right. One thing to keep in mind when you're installing this checkbox trigger is you can't see if you've installed it correctly using this preview page option in Leadpages. For some reason, they will not ever render the Facebook widget on their preview section, so you will have to actually go to the URL itself and check it there. So the first thing we want to do once we're on this edit page is we want to go ahead and add this tracking script, this pixel, into any of the analytics here. So on your left side here, click on page tracking, go to analytics, where it says immediately after the opening body tag, we're going to go ahead and paste that there, and we're going to hit save. Now we are installing our checkbox trigger on a pop-up kind of lead box. So when somebody hits this page, they don't opt in right on the page. There's no form here to fill out. What they do is they click on this button and it brings a pop-up. So we're going to click in here, click on this link here, and go view/edit of our lead box. Now lead boxes have their own tracking as well. So if you're going to be adding to the trigger to a lead box like we are here, you need to come into that lead box, click on the lead box tracking, and then paste this code here where it says body section, and hit save. So if you're using the lead box, you need to add that code in 2 sections. Once you've done that, you go ahead and find where you want to add this trigger on your page. For us, like I said, it's on this lead box, and so we want it right below this this button here, so that when somebody fills this out and hits our submission button, it will also submit the checkbox trigger. So in order to do that, what we got to do is over here we need to pull this HTML widget and place it right where we would want our checkbox trigger to appear. Once it's placed there, we can go back to the Opesta app, and then we're going to pull in step number 3 the embed code that we need to place where we want this kind of trigger to appear. So we're going to copy this completely, come back over to Leadpages here, click on this HTML box, and then we're going to go ahead and just simply paste this in here, and then we can hit save. Okay, so now that we have that saved, we're going to go back into the Opesta app, and the final thing that we need to do is we need to set it up so that our kind of checkbox triggers when the button that we specify is clicked. So we're going to copy this code here so that we can specify what button it is that we want to trigger or opt in this messenger. So once that's copied, go back to your HTML widget where you pasted in the script to embed the checkbox, hit enter a couple times, and go ahead and paste this new script here. Now there is one little thing that we have to edit. We do need to edit this area right here where it has hashtag custom ID inside of the little parentheses there. And we need to edit it with the CSS ID or class of the button that we want to trigger these things. So I'm going to hit save here real quick, because what we have to do is we have to figure out what that is for this button here. Now unfortunately Leadpages doesn't make it really easy to tell you what it is. So the only way for us to do this is to now update this so that we save our changes in. And then once it's updated, we're going to hit view page. So here's our page. We're going to click on our opt-in button so this pops up. You see that we now have this send to messenger. The only problem is we're not done yet. Since we haven't linked it to this button, it'll appear and you can opt in still, but it won't ever trigger the opt-in for this until we finish this last step. So the last step, you want to hover over the button and right click. Now I'm doing this in Google Chrome. It's a little bit different in different browsers, but essentially what you want to do is you want to inspect this element right here. So in Chrome, you'll simply right click, scroll down to inspect, and when you do, this little console will pop up. Now when you move, it kind of shows what you're highlighting, but in blue, the main thing that you kind of were hovering over when you hit inspect will be highlighted, and you can see that it says a bunch of just random things here. So button type, submit, class, lp-button-react, space w, da 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 da. So what we want to look for is we want to look for where right after it will say lp-button-react, there always will be a dot and then a string of code that usually begins with W. Alright, we want to get that. So if you see right here, it goes W-90 and then it has a big string all the way to this BA. So I'm going to highlight that, and when I release it, highlights everything. So I want to get just that right here, this dot. So I'm going to highlight just that. Once I've gotten just that string of code, all right, you'll know when it ends because there'll be a comma there. I've copied the class for this button, all right? And so now what I need to do is go back into that editor where I was, click back into my HTML element here, scroll back down to this second group of code where the second opening script here, and look for where it says hashtag custom ID. I'm going to select that and erase it. So now all I have is parenthesis, and then I've got my two quotation marks, and I'm right in the middle of them, and then another parenthesis. I'm going to paste what it was that I copied right off there. That's the class of the button there, including the period. You want to make sure you get the period in front of the W and then all the way in. You need to keep these two quotation marks on either side, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Okay. Now once I've done that, everything should be installed for this to function correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and hit update, and now I'm going to test that this will function correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and hit view page. I'm going to pull up Facebook as well so we can see if I get a message here from opting in. Alright, so I'm going to pop this up. We see the messenger loads. I'm going to put in an email address here, and I'm going to input this. Takes me to a thank you page, and I've already gotten notification on my phone that I've gotten a message from Opesta. And there we go. It's gone ahead and opted me in and sent me the first message in that sequence. All right. So that's how you install it on a Leadpages page. If you need help finding the class ID for your button or anything like that, feel free to reach out to our support. If you do want us to try and help you figure out what this class ID is, please make sure you send us the link to that page so that we can actually inspect it and look at it for you and help you out. But it is very, very easy to install this once you understand how to do that and get this all together. Now, if you also, beyond that, want to figure out how you can like center the page in, I mean the widget for the messenger opt-in underneath your button. So right now it's on the left if you want it maybe centered or things like that. There are links below to different articles where we will show you what code to add and where and how, so that you can center this and do a little bit more advanced kind of looks and different things like that. And as always, any programmer will be able to help you with this that knows HTML or CSS. They'll be able to give you some good guidance and insight there.